7K back to the garage. Okay, so let's go to the truck store. Let's start off with the American trucks. And I can certainly point out, I got some truck that has twin steer with the DLC, but I tip all the time, can't remember. I know exactly which one that is. That is... The Paystar. The International Paystar. That's this fella right here. This is actually a really good truck. This is in the Wisconsin DLC. Now, here's the cool thing. So, right up at the top, it'll actually tell you if it's a DLC truck or not. And the Ank Mk38 you get for free in Alaska. All you have to do is find it. Ank Mk38 Civilian, we get that in Maine. That was the newest addition to Maine. That you can just buy. Aramatsu Forester, this is in the main DLC. You have to repair and refuel it, then it's yours. Mad Viking King! Hello. Lurk away, my friend, lurk away. The Aramatsu Forester is, yeah, you have to repair and refuel. The Caterpillar 745C, also available in Maine. You have to find it, repair it, refuel it, and bring it to the lumber mill. Caterpillar 770, that is in the Yukon. You basically get one for free after you haul the parts back to the garage. Caterpillar CT680, you get this truck just by buying it. It is one of the fastest trucks in the game. You got to be careful. I use this a ton around Alaska. It doesn't have a rear suspension to it. Caterpillar CT681, this was available as part of the anniversary truck pack. Caterpillar Telehandler 357, this was in the Yukon, I think. I think this was the Yukon because they made this so that you had to pick up various bits and pieces of shipping containers and put them into cargo loading zones. Chevy CK1500, you start the game with it. The C70, don't discount this truck. The only thing is the saddle. If you put a low saddle on it, it mounts it behind the axle, and it ends up picking up the front end. The upgrade parts for this are all available fairly readily. You get this truck for free right out of Michigan. This is a DLC truck. It's a Scout that can't use a Scout trailer or any trailer whatsoever. Dairy Longhorn 3194. This is one of my personal favorite trucks. It is big, it is slow, it is unwieldy, it has that weird drop axle that gets hung up on absolutely everything. It's an American truck, so it really doesn't get mud tires. But it's a very stable, big truck towing platform. It's very stable. You get this in Alaska by finding it and hauling it back to your garage. Dairy Longhorn 4520. This truck is a colossal letdown. This truck is a sad, sorry truck. If the truck does not have anything on the back of it, if they'd made the Apache a proper pickup truck, not a six-wheel with tractor wheels, yes, FUBAR, 100%. So this truck was very underpowered. Very underpowered. They only released a new engine for Maine. So the thing about this truck is it's a great truck. I love this truck, but it's so underpowered. And you get this by hitting level 28 or 30. So you have to be basically maximum level to buy this truck for it to be a colossal letdown. And then you have to wait for Season 6 DLC to be able to get the upgraded engine for this truck, for it still not to be able to tow nearly as much as you'd want it to. It's really unfortunate because it's a really cool truck. And it can mount mud tires, too. One of the few American trucks that can do mud tires. Highway truck, don't want it. Ford F-750. You get the F-750 in Lake Cove. You get the 2 suspension upgrades. You get the various bits and pieces around Lake Cove. But it is in Amandra, on the very opposite side of the map, that you get the V10 engine upgrade for it. It does not work unless you have the V10. The F-750 is absolutely a monster. It is a monster. This is what it looks like in stock trim. The V8. Well, up to a V10. So, if you'll notice, the first 3 engines only give it a C on the power to weight ratio. But the 10 bumps it up to an A. And this thing is just a juggernaut with that. This is it's a custom gearbox. I love the F-750. It's you need a usable truck to tow it from where it is in the ice all the way to a particular location in Lake Cove. So there's a lot of ice around there, and it will break. Oops. The suspension, you've got raised suspension and tuned custom suspension, which is the only suspension that you're going to want. It's always going to run dual rear wheels, so you really don't have to worry about the height being something that kind of tips it over. Freightliner 114 SD. This truck is nimble. It's one of the smaller off-road trucks. Mine's all murdered out and matte, but yeah, that's cool, dude. That's so cool. This truck right here is a fantastic truck. And it's a lot of fun to use. Most of the parts, I believe, are available around Alaska. And it's a very, very underrated truck. Not a ton of people use this Freightliner, and it's really great. The 916A1, this is another truck you get simply by using it. This one, it's awesome. I love it. The suspension is a raised suspension or a stock suspension. It's got the special off-road transmission. This truck is a beast, but it suffers from only having a 200-liter fuel tank. And it doesn't have anything in the way of... So you can put... This is the worst idea. The loading crane on this truck is a bad idea. It just makes it fall over. The saddle high or the saddle low. So... What used to happen is that giant toolbox that's on the back of it, if you had a flatbed with the saddle low, it used to clip into that toolbox all the time. Now it doesn't. I think they changed it a little bit so that you can actually make the full turns without the toolbox clipping into the trailer. GMC Brigadier 8000. Here's a unique and interesting vehicle because... This is the big brother to the Chevy C70. This came as part of the DLC, the 1 year, I think the 1 year anniversary DLC. Correct me if I'm wrong. I like this truck. Unfortunately, this truck suffers from small tires. 46-inch tires are not really the best in terms of tires. It's pretty burly. It can do quite a bit, but it's another one of those American trucks that just don't really stand out in the field of plenty of other trucks that do infinitely better. GMC 9500, you get this truck in the very beginning, but you know what? This truck is awesome because it's kind of like it's like this secret awesome truck because you get the engageable all-wheel drive, which is available in... Yeah, that's Amandra. Amandra is where the all-wheel drive upgrade for this truck is. So you start the game with this one, but then you have to wait until DLC number 1 to get the upgrade after Alaska, Michigan, and Tamir. The Hummer H2, Scout truck. Scout trucks are all the same. For most of the Scout trucks, they all really feel the same. Scout trucks are not nearly as effective as you'd want them to be. They're more effective in Maine, and they're more effective in the Dawn region, where you don't have the ton of mud, you don't have the ton of snow, you don't have the ice to fall through. Fleetstar 2070. You know about this one. You started the game with it. International HX 520. This was another DLC truck, or an anniversary DLC truck. So you just got this one. This is actually a pretty fun truck, and it's not nearly as bad as a lot of people would think that it is, but a lot of people pass it over because it's really more of the same. Lodestar 1700. Besides the F750, this is one of the best scout trucks because it's actually capable of going anywhere. It's got decent ground clearance. Mr. Punks, what's going on? How are you doing, man? We're going through all of the trucks here, basically giving a rundown to Sir Pants on Fire and other people who wouldn't normally have all of this stuff available. So we're giving some information and everything else about the trucks themselves. The 520 is decent. Yes, exactly. It's decent, but it doesn't stand out, much like a lot of the American trucks. They're good trucks. They're solid trucks. You can make them do what they're supposed to do, but they don't stand out. The International Lodestar, you can have a pickup truck bed with tires, fuel, and repair points. That said, it is also a scout vehicle that can haul scout trailers, which means this truck can haul the radar trailer from Lake Coved. The F750 cannot. The F750, while being a scout, will only haul medium-duty truck trailers, no scout trailers. International Paystar, you probably use that a bunch. The Scout 800, International Transstar, Both of the Jeeps, the Jeep DLC that came out with the Dawn region, nothing special, nothing fancy. The Wrangler is better than the Renegade, but they're both they're scouts. They are just scouts. Navistar. This came as a DLC. What truck are you looking to get, and what's the weather and status of the ground? Well, it's cold here. I know that much. But we're going through basically where the trucks come from, where some of the upgrades actually come from. And the Navistar, that's my DLC truck. This is the truck they gave me as free add-on for pre-ordering the game through Best Buy. This truck you can turn around and you can sell this thing right out of the gate and get $140,000, but the upgrades unlock as you level up. It does not have a differential lock. That is the Achilles heel of this truck, although it's better than most other vehicles without a differential lock. P12, you get that just by leveling up. It's not bad. Its bumper definitely hooks on stuff, unfortunately. Pacific P16, you get that in Michigan. And this is one of the most stable, big haul trucks that you can get out there. And it is so much fun because it's got the best horn in the game. Pacific P12, or 512, excuse me. P16 is legend. What is my favorite truck? I like the P16, even though it's only rear-wheel drive, but it does have a differential lock, or it's differential locked all the time. I love my Navistar. I really love my Navistar. You wish you had SnowRunner? What platform do you have, Mr. Punks? But P16, this thing, dude, it's gigantic, and the mud tires on this, you get a PlayStation 4, you can get SnowRunner. Totally get SnowRunner. This one right here, the P512. Garrett the Catman, thank you so much for the follow. It's a cool looking truck. It's another really great Pacific truck. I think the idea was to make another logging truck, but this is only a rear-wheel drive truck. This is not a four-wheel drive truck. You get this in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, I believe, introduced a lot of the logging contracts. I know, but just download it, bro. Download. You can get it. I know you can. Here's the Paystar. This you also get in Wisconsin. This truck, the frame add-ons available to this truck are very impressive. The long flatbed, this is one of the few trucks that can actually mount a 3-slot flatbed. And 3-slot, it's hard to get up. I mean, that's why I got all my red vines here. Digital all the way. Hell yeah. Kyle Edward Gaming knows what's up. Long sideboard bed and crane equals for the win. You are 100% correct. Royal BM17. It does not have differential lock, but this is a very tippy, top-heavy truck. It's a weird truck, but it's a fun truck that you get in Alaska. It's also very, very fast. After round 4. Vlad, my dude. Royal Tippy McTipface. Fubar knows 100%. Vlad, that music video, dude. Tell me what you thought of that music video. Because you dipped out after we began to discuss Waylon's new music video release there. Round 5, you ready? So here's the Western Star 49X. This is a DLC truck that you actually had to pay for, much like the Apache. It's not a bad truck. It's actually very powerful, and it's one of the more beautiful-looking modern-style trucks. It was really, really, really good. You got 7 Royal trucks. I got a lot of Royal trucks. It's true. So if you look at the fender cutouts over here, these things have LED lights. Had to dip. Someone showed up IRL without warning. Well, kick them out. Get back here and hang out because you're supposed to be here. But no, this truck right here, the Western Star 49X, it does have that weird drop axle that sometimes gets in the way, but this is a very powerful, stout truck to really rock out with. And yeah, if you look up in the upper corner there, the little yellow checkbox, I mean, I would prefer not, because we kind of try to keep things a little bit more PG, but, you know, the icon name has been sneaked in. But yeah, the 49X is a great truck. I got it and I used it a bunch, and I really actually enjoy it. White Western Star 4964. This is your... Yeah, that's the that is the number of these trucks. Okay, so look at the upper corner of that one. Do you happen to notice how many of those that I have? These trucks are $118,000 to purchase a piece. I have 14 of them. So the White Western Star 4964. Sir Pants on Fire. Those are the trucks that get launched during our truck darts. And I have a bunch of other ones just kind of hanging out. I use 2 fairly consistently. So this one, most of your upgrades are Smithville Dam, and it is basically just not the fastest, but it has a lot of body configuration add-ons, and you can get a lot done. A lot done with this truck. It's surprising. It's not a powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? It'll get the job done. Western Star 6900 twin steer. This truck right here, you get in the one after Smithville. So Island Lake, I think. White Western Star. You got that today? Awesome. Nice. Yeah, you have to tow it. So the White Western Star, you basically have to get this truck. You find it, you accept the task, and then you haul it back to your garage. That's it. If you only had the base game, you'd probably use the 49. Exactly. Fubar is 100% correct on that one. The 6900 twin steer right here, it has the ability to mount 4 pieces of cargo to the body of the vehicle. It does not have any kind of trailer configuration or attachment. You get this truck in Michigan, but the best part about this is the all-wheel drive. It's in Amandra. That's the only thing. Vlad is also not wrong. because we are into making people jump through hoops for unbans. Because we don't like to unban people. Because we don't like to ban people. So, I like the twin steer. A lot of people don't like the twin steer because they don't like how tippy it is. And it's only tippy because the frame is very rigid. The frame on this truck has no flex to it whatsoever. None. And it's a very interesting truck to drive. But I find it fun. It's also one of the faster trucks and one of the most powerful trucks in the game. Now we're on to the Russian trucks. And a lot of the Russian trucks you simply get by leveling up. You don't have to find them. You don't have to unlock them. You just get them. And a little bit. I just remember a lot. I remember an awful lot. But that's just me. That's just me. So, Azov 4220. I don't use this a lot. It's got the articulated body, which a lot of people don't like. All right, get the crane. It's time for round 6. Meh. American or Russian crane. You get this just by leveling up. You can't get chain tires for it. Nathan, Province, what's going on, man? How's everybody doing? We're hanging out here. We're having a wonderful time tonight. We're going through a lot of the trucks. This is our teaching tool right now because we are talking about the trucks, where they're located, which DLCs they're part of, and which pertinent upgrades you have to get to kind of really juice them up. How's everything going? Get the Russian crane. The Russian crane means business, my friend. But everybody, if you are part of the Discord server, you will know that N Province posts his video reviews of various different trucks and also all kinds of other SnowRunner related video content, and totally awesome dude. And if you're not following him on YouTube, you absolutely should be following him on YouTube. Because there's a lot of people we should be following here, because we all want to be mutually supportive of one another. 5319. The Azov 5319 right here. Mr. Punks, the guy right above you. So, that said, because I have links disabled, we're going to do this. Oh, dude. That is a link to the most recent video for N Province right there. If you are not following and subscribed on his YouTube channel, you should absolutely be. There is a great series of truck reviews as well as all kinds of other useful information. So do yourself a favor, and also that kind of brings me back around, Sir Pants on Fire. That is a useful series right there for you to actually go through and check out a bunch of different stuff. So the 5319, awesome truck. Fantastic truck. This truck is incredible. This truck is amazing. This truck is unstoppable. I love the Predator laugh, I'm not going to lie. Skakwin, what is up? How's everything? This truck can mount chain tires. This truck can mount mud tires. This truck has a variety of different body configurations. The only thing this truck suffers with is a drinking problem and a 200-liter fuel tank. So you burn through fuel. Burn through fuel. Still alive? Still breathing? Still kicking? That is good to hear. How's everything? What's new? What's going on? What's good? So the Predator mimics human sounds and voice interactions. So he heard Billy laughing and mimicked the sound. That's why he played that weird altered sort of version of it. 64131. This is slow but steady. This truck right there is the definition of slow and steady. It is a wonderful truck, and I use this one a lot through Tamir because of all the mud. A lot of the mud can definitely be handled by a lot of the Russian trucks. The American trucks do not get mud tires as much as the Russian trucks do, and it's just a weird thing. And we've discussed this before. N Province, when he was streaming, we were talking about the same thing. This is a good truck. So with the combination of a 5319, a 64131, or even the addition of the 73210, you have an unstoppable fleet of trucks right there that will do basically anything you need to do. And these trucks, you simply need to level up and have the money to get them. That's it. The 73210, however, is the one that has the really, really, really low front overhang, as we will see right here. So this is the stock height right here. My favorite truck, I'm still a huge fan of my Navistar. The Navistar is unwieldy, smoky, a little bit over the top, kind of ridiculous, and infinitely cool with the grates across the windows. It is my war machine. It is my ridiculous over-the-top go-to. It's Jimmy Hill Chin, UK reference there. So here's the thing. The tires, you really don't have any bigger tires you can put on. The suspension primarily is a stock suspension, or you get the active suspension, which brings it up a little bit, but it's enough to bring it up so that this overhang right here, it's its biggest issue. That is the biggest issue of this truck, is that chin height. So without the active suspension, it's kind of very... It still works, don't get me wrong. We used it all the way through, but it's better with the active suspension. Bob's Burgers, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Here's another one that is, yeah, it's fun. It's gigantic. And it's comical in its proportions. The thing is, the tires for the size of this thing are not nearly big enough. The front overhang is way, way too much. So if you're driving along with no trailer attached, the whole back end is going to come up because all of the weight, if you look at it, most of the weight is past the front axle, which definitely doesn't really work too well at all. So there's that. Let's see. That's a truck you just get by buying. The Dan, this guy right here, this guy's great. You get this in the quarry in Tamir. You have to get the task for it. You have to refill and repair it. I believe this one actually gets a... Yeah, this one actually gets a new active suspension as well. And that is available in Maine. But this doesn't need the active suspension nearly as much as the Azov 73210 does. Otherwise, it's a great truck. Dawn, start the game with. The Con Sentinel, you get that in Amor. And it's basically just a pickup truck scout. The Con Marshal is very capable. Con Loaf is okay. And here's where it gets interesting, the two collabs. One of them has differential lock and all-wheel drive on all the time. The other one doesn't. So the short nose always has differential lock. These trucks are your go-to heavy haulers for most of the game up until you get a Zix. These trucks are powerhouses. The only thing is, the raised suspension, the active suspension, is available in the Yukon. And they will definitely be noticeable without the active suspension, especially in places like Imandra, because of the amount of rocks that are scattered around the map. I prefer the Longnose collab just because of how it sort of approaches a lot of difficult terrain. But then this one also has the all-wheel drive and differential lock. You actually have to engage. The Bandit right here, you get this one in, I think this is in, you just get this, and it's in your garage when you get I think the Yukon DLC. It's very capable. It sips fuel. It's only got a 150-liter fuel tank. It has a built-in crane, and it's got repair points you can mount on the roof. Yeah, it is a little tippy, and you're best served by probably some of the meatier tires on it, which may just be because I need to learn to drive. But, you know, he liked to roll. I mean, it happens. It definitely happens. It's not a bad vehicle. It's actually fairly capable for what it is. The Bandit was the only crane truck I had early game. I fell out with it very quickly. Step 310 is a lot like the... This is very similar to the Freightliner 114 SD. It's decent, but nothing substantial. Tatra. I think we got these in... Did we get these in MR? We might have got these in MR. But it's got that weird Tatra canted suspension. You can see the single... You have no good trucks. You've got plenty of good trucks. Don't you worry. This one right here, you can see that tube right there. That's where the drivetrain passes through. And we've talked about the Tatra. This is unique to a Tatra. That is the Tatra drivetrain. And you can see the big torsion, the torsion bars. You can see the CV joints that are right there. The Tatra suspension is something that's ridiculously unique. Tatra Force, this is one of the 2 trucks that are available from the Dawn region. And the Tatra Force is it's supposedly the bigger, burlier, older version of the Tatras, but it doesn't seem nearly as good as the other Tatra that you get in the Dawn region, which is DLC number 5. It's not terrible, but if you mount the fuel tank on it, the thing wants to roll all the time. I have 3 trucks sunk to the axle right now trying to do one task. It'll happen. It'll happen. And it looks so cool driving around Tamir with camo. This one's cool. This is the Tatra Phoenix, and this is a really unique cab-over design. This thing, the tires on this thing, all of them stay in contact with the ground all the time. And it's really just remarkable watching it go over rough terrain because everything moves independently of one another. And yet again, it's got the Tatra drivetrain, but it also has been backed up by a more modern boxed ladder style frame. Tatra T813. This was included in... I think this came to us in Amore. This was either Amore or the DLC prior... No, I think it was... Was it Amore or Wisconsin that we got this one? I can't remember. It's not terrible. It's not anything super unique, but it gets the job done decently. And here's where we really start to break out. Is very slowly this truck? Yeah, it is a very slow truck. A very, very slow truck. This right here is the Tega. You get this in the Drowned Lands of Tamir, the very first map of Tamir. This truck is going to be your go-to truck. You can get this very early on. This is the one with the Tega mud tires. The only thing is, the lifted suspension for this, it is a God tier. Yes, it is God tier. The lifted suspension for this is only available in Chernokamensk. Or, no, Zimnogorsk. It's in Zimnogorsk, which is the last map in Tamir. But it is just the go-to. Here's the new Tega. And the new Tega is available through completing the sawmill contract in Maine. This truck is awesome. The ability to mount the bed with the crane on the back of it. I love the styling on this truck. I love the way it handles. I love everything about this. This is a fun truck. This is a really, really great truck to use. Tuz Warthog. You get this one in Amandra. You find this one in Amandra. And it's a lot of fun. The Tuz Action. Proper Soviet, that new Tega. Yes, it is. Very much so. This one you get by coming across in Lake Coved. And this is a fun little truck. These two trucks, these two Tuz trucks, are very versatile trucks in terms of they can mount fuel bodies, they can mount little pickup beds, they can do a lot of weird, random stuff. They can mount the mud tires, they can mount the they can do a very versatile role. I like for logistics. And it has the Action does have the autonomous winch as well. It's more in line with like a medium duty like scout kind of crossover. Get back over here real quick. Hold on, as I exited out of that like an idiot. There we are. And it's really useful, really useful. And then you've got the Tataran, the 420, which is available. There's one in the Rift, and then there is one in Zimnogorsk. It really is, especially when you're prone to just like flopping around. Voron AE, Voron D, both decent trucks. My go-to, Voron Grad. Voron Grad, with the engine upgrades, with the I think the Voron Grad is one tiny little slot right beneath the Tega. Your tire options are better. Your frame configurations and add-ons are better and more varied. And this has always been one of my go-to multiplayer trucks. The two Tatarans is nice. One to keep, one to sell. Yeah, it's a lot of money too. Yar, decent. Zix, 5368. This truck will surprise you in terms of what it can actually do. Think of this more like the C70. This is more like the Chevy C70. And I'm telling you, log carrier, fuel carriers, small fuel carrier, fuel tank, low saddle, and here's the important thing. Do you see how the low saddle is actually positioned just forward of the rear axle? It is huge in placement in terms of where the weight is going to rest on the frame. Because if it was behind the rear axle like it does in the C70, that's when the whole front end of the truck just picks up. And it's not really conducive to hauling anything heavy on the back of it. And here's the end all be all. This is your Zix 605R. This is the truck that you have to open the tunnel to get to in MOR. So you have to get to this, you have to find this, you have to refuel and repair this. Then you've got 61-inch tall tires and probably one of the most unstoppable trucks in the entire game. So that is your basic walkthrough of all of these vehicles right here.